Right, you bastards. This is Some-Belgian-prepper, and today we're going to talk about night vision and are they worth it for your prepper your preparedness. So yeah, before we start, that is the first part of 11 parts detective series that I wrote. It's called Bloody Crosses. It's in Dutch. If you're interested, look down in the description down. So night vision. Well, night vision. We all seen the movies with where commandos win see everything just as good as possible. They can jump, crawl, and do everything with night vision, no problem, and they can do it all night. But is this realistic to what most night vision goggles are? Because that is the first thing with night vision that you normally would get from as a civilian, because yeah, there's a big difference between military night goggles and this kind of civilian versions. What are the differences? Well, there are several generations of night vision, and the military always has the newest. What are the differences? Well, the difference are they use other systems. Uh, the battery lasts longer, is more durable to outdoor conditions. They are much more they're costly. I can assure you that. They are more usually more smaller, but they can last longer. And what's another difference? They have a longer duration in maintenance. Is what I'm trying to say. Um, yeah. So why would you buy a civilian one? Well, my first thing is don't cheap out if you're planning to buy a night vision, because the the money, the higher the cost. I don't say you have to buy the most expensive one, but an example. This is a night vision that I bought, and I thought it was a bargain. It was like only 150 euros, and this is one of the. I did. You probably saw this in my video about worst prepper mistakes that I bought, and there is a reason for it. This is one of those. First of all, this is a handheld night vision. That's already a problem just for holding on. You always have to look through it. You do not have your hands free, so that's a problem. Unless you're going to use it just for observation, just for scouting the area, to look to for hunting in the night, or to for your OPSEC for security around during a bug out, or just your property during if you notice there is someone on your property during a bug in. That's perhaps a good thing about it, but yeah, it's not really that handy for the price. My second problem with one of those handheld night vision is this. This is the biggest reason why I hate this thing, and that is it can only look in magnified. So so the lowest setting that there is like double double the zoom. So I cannot look it like I see with my own eyes. I always see everything to zoomed in twice, and I can zoom in further. Yeah, that's the handy thing. It's like a binocular, but the problem is if I want to look at something close, even if I look at my feet, I just see my toe, for example. So yeah, it's not really handy for walking around and for tactical purposes. And yeah, my last problem with this is the battery life. The battery life of this thing is horrible. You probably heard me say things. I hate things with batteries, but these work on alkaline batteries. So yeah, what batteries you buy from the store, and you can almost, if you're lucky, you can get on full force, because there are several magnitudes in clarity. The more of course, the more clarity you use, the quicker the batteries will die out. The more zoom you use, the same thing, and it will only last for, if you're lucky, 1 to 2 hours most. And that's what I hate about this. This thing just eat batteries like it's just horrible, and it's also very heavy for what it's worth it. And yeah, I just really don't like this thing. So yeah, I would say I would recognize if it's only for observation and for security reasons, all right, then it's probably worth the cheap money. But you have got to have a way to recharge this with these batteries. So handheld night vision is a big no-no, I would say. I would more opt for one of these smaller night vision that you can actually put on your head. That's another thing that military that is an advantage from military night vision. They usually use one of those monocular night vision that you put before one eye. What can you do with it? That's actually a good thing for nighttime operations for tactical purposes. Because when your eye is always lit up because of the night vision, and you will have to put it out or the battery go down, that eye will at least need 30 minutes to adapt to the darkness. So if you only have one eye, that's called the pirate method. If you flip it up and you just look in the night with only the light of the moon or from a few street lights, or you go into a lightless room, then at least a darkened room, then at least your other eye is still adapted to the dark. So it's like that's the reason why pirates wore those patches on their one of their eyes. It's not because their eyes were hurt. It's because when they go below above deck, they go into daylight, and below deck it's really dark. So if they enter a ship, and they have to go into the dark belly of the ship, at least one of their eyes during the fight is adapted to the darkness, and that's a tactical advantage. So that's the reason why you see military usually wear one of those monocular night visions. So this is a little bit more expensive. Like I said before, military goggles can be really expensive. I knew a guy that once took a loan to buy a night vision, and it cost 10,000 euros. It was one of the best of the best. We trained with it on an airsoft match in the night, in the middle of the night, in a village, and yeah, they kicked our asses. It was a really good thing, but very expensive, like I said. But it is a more affordable option. But it has a few drawbacks from the military, but it's still a good use, in my opinion. First thing I want to tell you, if you're going to put this on, if you're going to use this, do not use this during the day, because if you put night vision on during the day, there is a chance that you damage the, how do you say it? I do not know the English name, but the part that will put the infrared light into image could get damaged if you get lighted, if you get the light directly on it when it's on. So that could be a problematic. Another thing that could be possible, especially if you buy second-hand night vision, is look on the duration it had worked already. What do I mean by that? Usually it takes around 1,000 hours of being turned on before it will start to degrade. The same thing that I told before about the mechanism that will put infrared to vision. And yeah, it's 1,000 hours is actually kind of good for nighttime operations. Another good thing is it has an internal battery, so I can recharge this with my solar or my dynamo. How to say this? My dynamo generators. So yeah, that's already a good thing about this. It has a longer lasting battery life, also good. And another good thing is it has these flaps on the side, and I will show you in a minute why this is important. And the most important thing is it's one-on-one zoom vision. So everything I see is like I see with my own eyes, except it's a little bit further, so I can just see right in front of me, and that's good for nighttime operations. What I also advise is to use, if you're going to use night vision, is wear a balaclava like this, a thick one. And why? I will show you now. There's a reason why I would advise to carry, if you're going to use a night vision, why you would wear something like this. And the reason is if this is in front of your eyes and you do not have this, the light will reflect onto your face, and that way, even in the night, it could give you away from light. So if you have something thickening like a woolen balaclava like this, that will close this part around this a little bit and seal it from the light from within. So yeah, I will show you a little bit how would this work. Oh. This is another thing, in contrary to the military night goggles, is you can flip this above, but as you can see, even the quietest move is, even the little movements can flip it back off. Yeah, so that could be a little problematic. As you can see, it's still a little bit clumsy with the breakable parts, because it's not really made out of metal, it's plastic. So if you bump your head against something, it can break. So be very carefully with it. And yeah, I mean, you know what? I'm going to let you show you the another thing that could happen that you need to take in account. I will put out the lights. I will first put this on. Power on. So, as you probably can see, you should now see at least two infrared lights, and it is actually the infrared light that is like a flashlight but with infrared shining the room, and that will be converted into the night vision during the night. If you have when you have moonlight or some other light sources, that could be used instead of this. And yeah, as you can see, I can see everything perfect now in the basement. You will probably see my hand getting in front of the two little lights. So from far away, the little two red lights is not really visible, but from close up, you will see this. I've tested this thing out in the middle of the night while taking a walk in the dark, and a few joggers and people who walk their dog were a little bit scared when they saw these two things getting on right in front of them, a little bit walking like this. Yeah, it's a little bit scary for them, but yeah, the thing is, I can still see it, and this thing I have not been using for a long time, and the battery is still full. So yeah, that's a good thing that the battery is now even full after a long time of not being using it. If you probably will notice, I turn my head around now, and you will almost see no light coming from the side. Perhaps a little bit, but it's not that much to be noticeable. But yeah, I will put the light back on. So this is another thing that you need to take in account with. If other people have night vision and you set on the lights, like you saw the infrared lights, they can see you from far away, because infrared can be detected by other night vision. So if you are in a wartime situation or something like that, and the enemy has night vision, and you use something like this with the infrared lights, they can detect you from very far away with their night vision. So be carefully about that. It's especially useful with other persons that have night vision, no night vision, I mean. So yeah, I think it's worth it to get one of those. This cost around 250, I think. So it's relatively cheap, but not the cheapest. So it's good for its purpose. It's just for walking around, for small tactical tasks, and for going outside, and for watching the property in the middle of the night, for burglars, trespassers perhaps in the middle of the night. So yeah, those are worth it. I would not advise, unless you got the financial means to buy the really expensive real military goggles, But for this, I would say it's worth it, in my opinion. It's a good way to get around stealthily in the middle of the night without drawing attention from you with a flashlight or something. Could be handy during a bug out, and if you can and recharge it, it's almost better then. So yeah, for a bug out, for a bug in, it's I would say get this one, and for the love of God, do not buy one of these handheld night vision binoculars. I hate these things. Yeah, this was my take on night vision. So thank you for watching. Subscribe, like, and all that good stuff. And yeah, see you in the next video. Cheers.